unfortunate, Rahul. What is happening in Andhra Pradesh is going to set in a new draconian precedent. Never in the past the state has been broken without an assembly resolution in place or without a commission's report in favor of breakage. This is after 60 years of independence. This is the first time the Article 3 is being misused for the sake of votes and seats to break a state. The Assembly has rejected the Bifurcation Bill. Even though the Assembly has rejected the Bifurcation Bill, against the will of the House, against the will of the people, central government is going ahead in an autocratic manner to impose the bifurcation on the state. I mean, if people were to, in democracy, if people were to accept this, very soon you would be setting in a new precedent, a new dangerous precedent. Andhra Pradesh will not be the only state. Andhra Pradesh will be the beginning of a new era, a new draconian era, where anybody with 272 MPs in Delhi will break any state at their whims and fancies, even though irrespective of what the will of the people says.
But the arithmetic of parliament is such that when the UPA and the BJP join hands, as seems to have been the case in splitting Andhra Pradesh, they can push through this bill. And the reality of Andhra Pradesh is, while Jagan Mohan Reddy does not want Andhra Pradesh to be split, and you've got supporters here who are passionately supporting you, there are an equal number of people in Telangana who want the state of Andhra Pradesh to be split. That is the reality of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan.
Andhra Pradesh has a situation, Rahul, where 70% of the people are against division.
How did you reach this figure? How do you know 70%? How do you know 70% in Telangana don't support splitting Andhra Pradesh?
That's exactly what I'm trying. In Seemandhra constitutes 13 districts.
Sure.
That constitutes 62% of the population. And even in Telangana, not that everybody is in favor of a split. A lot of the people in Telangana are also in favor of United Andhra. So much so that in 2009 elections and in 2004 elections, TRS never even scored a single seat in Hyderabad and Rangareddy districts. That itself is a very clear indication that not everybody is in favor of division even in Telangana. The important point what one needs to understand here is, in a democracy, we go to any state, you would have some section of the people who are wanting to break away. It is natural in democracy. But you should go with the will of the majority. And when 70% of the people are opposed to division, when the assembly of that state outrightly rejects the division bill, how can you break an unwilling state? Especially, it's like we want to take Hyderabad, we want to take the revenues, and the rest of Andhra Pradesh go to hell. We don't care. If, without even looking at the repercussions what this division has, what this division would bring about, just for the sake of votes and seats, Sonia Gandhi is going ahead and breaking the state. She knows very well that if elections were to be held in this state, she would not even get a single seat out of 42 seats. So she is just playing with the emotions of the people, igniting the passions in Telangana, and staking a claim for the 17 seats in Telangana.
No, but let's...
I question her. Is it right, for the sake of few votes and seats, how is it fair to play around with 5 crore population who are against division? The reality is, from Kuppam, that is the southern part of the tip of Andhra Pradesh, to Srikakulam, you will only see a sea coastline. You will not even see a freshwater source. This is reality. In Hyderabad, what is a hub of engine of growth, every graduate, irrespective of where he finishes his education from, the moment he's got a degree in his hand, the capital what he looks at to get a job is to go to Hyderabad. Now where do these youngsters go for a job?
No, but let's look at the reality of those people who are opposing Telangana. Subirami Reddy, Rajgopal Reddy, Kavuri Sambisara, all of them are big businessmen, Jagan Reddy. All of them are people with economic stakes in Telangana, around Hyderabad. L. Rajgopal, M.R. Reddy, G. Vivekanand, all these people are big businessmen. They are the ones who are inciting passion because their money is at stake. They feel if there's a separate Telangana, their business interests will be hurt. Is that not the reality, Jagan Reddy?
Rahul, first of all, the most important thing is you should question yourself. You're from Bombay, you're from Maharashtra. How would you like if they take Bombay out of Maharashtra and say, rest of Maharashtra get out? Would you accept? Where would the rest of the Maharashtra people go for a job after they finish their education?
But no one is stopping people from coming to Hyderabad.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
continue with their education, get a job. Even if there's Telangana, people from Simandra can still do that.
Absolutely. I request you to do the same thing. Go to Chennai in a Maharashtra number and see how you would be treated. Go to Bangalore having a registration number of AP or registration number of Bombay and just check out how the people would see. How do you think MNS party is surviving? Because they're saying Marathi jobs. How do you think Dravidian parties in Tamil Nadu surviving? We're saying Dravidian movement. In Karnataka it is Kannadiga movement. Even in Telangana, also in Hyderabad, the moment it comes up, they will say Telangana jobs, Telangana region. This is going to be reality. See, for 60
No, but
years...
you're not answering my question about MPs being interested in protecting their business interests. Is that not a reality of the opposition to Telangana, that a lot of the Simandra MPs have business interests in Telangana?
I don't understand. Why do you see in a very minuscule picture? The MPs represent the will of the people. The MPs whom you talk about are talking about the MPs who are from Simandra region. The MLAs whom you talk about you're talking about MLAs from
But they
Simandra
have
region.
business interests over there, which is why they don't want Telangana to be split.
Why do you come back to the same question, Rahul, when the most important point is you have a situation where if Hyderabad is removed from the equation, if you break the state into two halves, you will not even have a single drop of drinking water while the tribunals exist. I'll just give you a briefing on the water situation so that you understand the reality. None of these people seem to be understanding that in Delhi, because none of them are from Andhra Pradesh that they apply their brains to. You have, while the state is united, just check out how the Krishna waters come. Krishna waters, after fulfilling the requirements in Maharashtra, they come to Karnataka. And in Karnataka, only after Almaty and Narayanpur dams are filled up, only then a single drop of water comes into my state. While the state is united, this is the plight of Andhra Pradesh, while tribunals exist. While today you have tribunals in place, while you have boards in existence, while you have tribunals in existence, while you have boards in place, this is the situation in Andhra Pradesh, that not a single drop of water enters my state before the Almaty and Narayanpur dams are filled up. The same thing in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka on Kaveri waters. Why do you think Tamil Nadu and Karnataka fight over Kaveri waters every year, even though the tribunals do exist? In this situation, in this backdrop, just imagine a situation if another state comes in between. If another state comes in between, what is the plight of the southern tip of Andhra Pradesh, that is Kuppam, to Srikakulam? You only see a coastline, you don't see a freshwater source. What is to happen?
No, but
Do
is
you
it
have
also
an
not
answer
a
for it?
reality? Fair, that's a fair point. But you are strong in Simandra, therefore you are upping the ante in a bid to consolidate your hold over the Simandra region, because if you believe that you were doing very well in Telangana, you would also factor into account the will and the wishes of the people of Telangana.
Rahul, Samaikya Andhra or United Andhra means I want Telangana, I want Rayalaseema, I want Costa Andhra. We don't differentiate. We are saying we want to stay together. We are saying we want. And coming back to your situation, 18 months back a by-election took place. 18 seats and 1 parliament seat went for a by-election. We swept, out of 18 we swept 15 of them, and the parliament seat we swept with more than 3 lakh vote majority. You know, the seats what we lost, one of them happened to be the 3 seats out of 18 what we lost, one of them in Telangana. You know how many votes we lost that seat? 1,000 votes.
But most of them were in Simandra.
1,000 votes in Telangana.
True.
1,000 votes in Telangana. Please check out your number. We were number 2. The difference between the winner and us was 1%. See, YSR legacy is there dominantly in Telangana, in Rayalaseema and Coast Andhra. We represent the will of the people of the state. We represent the aspirations of the people to stay together. This is what we represent.
What will be your next step? The reorganization bill is coming to Parliament. The BJP and the Congress are acting in tandem. The MPs who are creating a ruckus have been suspended. The options seem to be running out for Jagan Reddy.
See, Jagan Mohan Reddy as an individual is nothing. Jagan Mohan Reddy has only 3 Lok Sabha seats. Jagan Mohan Reddy is requesting the support of you, Rahul, of the media, of the social media, of everybody who is wanting to protect democracy. Jagan Mohan Reddy is seeking help from them. Jagan Mohan Reddy is seeking the help from the entire opposition. Jagan Mohan Reddy is saying that this entire opposition should stand up against this injustice. Because if you do not come now, if you let this happen to Andhra Pradesh would not be the first state. I'll just quote you a similar statement. I'll quote you a quote, what is very relevant. You know, there is one author by name Martin Niemöller. He's a German author. He once wrote about Nazis and Hitler rule. He said, first they came, the Nazis, first they came for the communists. I did not protest because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the socialists. I did not protest because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not protest because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not protest because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the Catholics. I did not protest because I wasn't a Catholic. Then they came for me to my house. And when I looked back, there was none to support me. This is reality. Today what is going to happen in Andhra Pradesh would set a new draconian precedent. Tomorrow it would spread over to Tamil Nadu, it would spread over to Maharashtra, it would spread over to Gujarat, it would spread over to every state. The will of the House, the will of the people, the will of the Assembly will no longer be a matter of concern. Anybody with 272 MPs who is sure to lose that seat would ignite regional passions, would draw the line to break any state at their whims and fancies, and there will be nobody to question.
Are you disappointed with Narendra Modi and the BJP? You asked them to support a united Andhra Pradesh. They instead choose to support the Congress in splitting the state. You told me in an interview I had done earlier that you would support Narendra Modi if he backed for a united Andhra Pradesh. That's not happening now. Are you disappointed in the BJP?
See, we've not yet let our hopes crash down. We're still optimistic. We will put in every effort to keep the patient alive. We would take every doctor's help. We would take the help of Rahul as a doctor to help us out. We would take the help of social media as doctors to help us out. We would take the help of the entire opposition as doctors to help us out to keep the patient alive. We would continue our efforts to prevail on BJP. We would continue our efforts to persuade BJP to exercise their stand as principal opposition and to protect democracy along with the other opposition parties.
They seem to be on the opposite side.
See, as an individual, I can plead with them. I can persuade them. Ultimately, I pray to God that God would shower His grace on us, that wisdom would dawn on them, that they would stand up against this injustice. We're still optimistic, we're still hopeful that these people also would join the entire opposition and fight against this injustice.
What happens if they don't?
See, we don't want to be negative at this stage, Rahul. We want to be optimistic.
No, so what happens? Do you have a backup plan? If the bill goes through in Parliament, they've got the numbers arranged in their favour, all the people who are disrupting are now out. What is Jagan Mohan Reddy's plan B? Do you have a plan B?
See, what I've said, the most important thing is we should not think negative. We should not think that we have lost. There is time, and we believe God would do a miracle. We believe that wisdom would dawn upon BJP. We believe that the entire opposition would stand up against this injustice, because it is not Andhra Pradesh any longer. What you're setting in is you're setting the ball rolling for a new draconian precedent.
Okay, what happens when the reorganization bill gets tabled? You are targeting Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Do you believe that this is being done purely to try and bolster the Congress's fortunes in Telangana, because they realize that Seemandhra is lost to Jagan Reddy, so they should get what they can in Telangana?
It is not that they have lost Seemandhra to Jagan Reddy, Rahul. The fact is Congress has lost the entire Andhra Pradesh. 42.
Even Telangana.
42 out of 42 Congress party is lost. If they go for elections, they will get 0 out
but
of 40.
But they're hoping to tie up with TRS and get a few seats in Telangana.
That's what I'm saying. Since they know very well that they will get 0 out of 42, that is why they are igniting these emotions. That is why they are creating these regional passions. That is why just few months before the election, they have decided to split my state and to play havoc with the lives of my people, just for the sake of staking claim for 17 parliament seats. I ask you, is it right? Is it democracy?
No, because I remember Lalu Yadav long back saying that Bihar will be split over my dead body. We are hearing similar protestations from you now, but even at that time Lalu Yadav ultimately fell into line and became the Chief Minister of divided Bihar. Like, you can possibly be the Chief Minister of Seemandhra.
It is not the question of who becomes what, Rahul. The question is, when we speak of United Andhra, we speak of Telangana as well. We are asking that the state should be kept united. When I speak of United Andhra, I speak in one voice. I will go to Telangana. I will live with my brothers there. That is what? We will be fighting the elections on Samaikya. Our party would be contesting every seat what it contests on United Andhra. That means people who are going to contest on our platform will stand for United State of Andhra Pradesh. No matter what. We are for brotherhood. We are for love.
No, because the BJP's calculation is at any point in time when Andhra Pradesh is split, there will be trouble. So let whatever blood emerges be on the hands of the Congress, because this is a long-standing demand that they've accepted. Narendra Modi, when he came to Hyderabad, in his speech accepted that there should be a separate state of Telangana with the interests of Seemandhra being kept in mind. So that seems to be their calculation.
See, I'll tell you something. In a democracy, when you realize that you're doing something wrong, it's very important that you correct yourself. I'll just quote you another famous quote on Nelson Mandela. I do not know if you have read this autobiography fully. For 28 years this man was put behind bars. While he was put behind bars for 28 years, the South Africa had an official rugby team by name Springboks. The official rugby team Springboks had majority of them as whites.
Correct.
Very few blacks. So that was the reason why the entire blacks in that country were against their official rugby team Springboks. Nelson Mandela was also the same, against this rugby team, even though he was in prison.
We know the story.
Later he becomes the president of the country.
Yes.
And he officially supports the rugby team tooth and nail. The rugby team goes to the finals of the World Cup. Then an anchor similar to you asks him a question. He says, weren't you the same Nelson Mandela who booed against Springboks, supported the opposite country whenever Springboks was playing? You know what Nelson Mandela says? He says, yes, it is me, the same Nelson Mandela. But if I don't change, how do I expect others to change? This is what Nelson Mandela says. In a democracy, if you think that you've made a mistake, you think you're going against the majority of the will of the people, it is very important that you correct yourself. This is democracy.
Tell me before I end, what would be your next plan over and beyond this? Why is the Congress so confident? When we speak to senior leaders who've been involved in this whole process of reorganizing Telangana, all of them tell us after the elections, don't worry, Jagan Reddy will support the Congress party. Why are they so confident about your support, Jagan? What is happening behind the scenes?
Rahul, how is it fair on them or on you to even raise such a question? You know what, I'll tell you one thing. Anybody, be it me, be it Rahul, be it anybody, if somebody is put behind bars and without a trial, without proven guilty, the constitution says that you cannot hold any person behind bars without proven guilty for more than 3 months. If the trial continues, it is a constitutional right that that person should be released on bail. In my case, I've been put behind bars by these very people for 16 months. For 16 months without being proven guilty. You know in what context? CBI always kept saying that if I am let out, I will influence the witness. Tell me one thing, Rahul. I am in the opposition. The state, I am in the opposition in the state. In Delhi, I am in the opposition. In state, the Congress party is ruling. In Delhi, the Congress party is ruling. And I am fighting against these people. You tell me how somebody in opposition can influence witness when somebody in ruling like Congress party, both in state and central, cannot do so.
You won't support Congress after the elections?
I'll tell you, I'll ask you one simple question, Rahul. If somebody puts you behind, okay, they kept me behind for 16 months. Forget about 16 months. If somebody puts you behind for even 5 months, forget about 16 months, Rahul. I'm talking about only 5 months or maybe 6 months. Then I'll ask you the same question. Would you support those very people who put you behind bars? Then I would love to hear an answer from you.
No, because they believe that the CBI case against you is a lever. They can use that as a lever to press Jagan Reddy to support the Congress, because if you don't, they will threaten you that we'll send you back behind jail.
See, CBI has already finished their investigation. It is no longer CBI that can do anything to me now. Now the matter is in trial. And just a reminder of how this whole thing started. You should keep in mind, I was an honorable man. My dad was an honorable man. Till 18 months after my father's death and 2 months after I left the Congress party. 18 months after my father's death and 2 months after I left the Congress party, suddenly I became dishonorable. The Congress party and Chandrababu Naidu, Telugu Desam party, both of them came together and went to the court against me. Is this, what do you call this?
What will you do after the elections?
See, everybody in Andhra Pradesh knows how the CBI cases have come on me, who are the conspirators, how they've done what they did. So tomorrow when the elections take place, Andhra Pradesh people would teach all these conspirators a fitting lesson. They will show them that this is not how you run politics. Politics is something what you need to hear to the voice of the people. Politics is something you become a good politician when you listen to the hearts of the people, when you thrive to do them good, when you have an ambition in you to stay alive after death. That is politics.
If you had to choose between the NDA and the Third Front, whom would you choose?
I would choose anybody who keeps my state united. I have no reservations on it.
But that's what you've been saying from the first day. There are lots of people who are here to support Jagan Mohan Reddy. They've come in busloads